All right, we are streaming. Let's see. It says we're connecting. Go fetching video stream. There we go. Bang. There. Fetching and fetched. Good job, fetcher. All right, sweet. Well, guys, hello. Welcome. It is 4 p.m. on Pacific time and 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. Woo! Man, I'm good at my time zones. If you're on the mountain time, I think it's 5 p.m., and that's all I know. Hello there. Hello, Jasmine. Lori, Jasmine, hello. I'm going to like your comment. Bang, caught it before it went up. Diane, Christina, good to see you guys. Hello. We're going to wait for maybe 20 more seconds. Let some more people jump on. Going over making sure YouTube is good to go. And YouTube look like we're live there. Sweet. David, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Lori, good to see you. Very good to see you. Ashley, what? Ashley's here? This is awesome. I can't believe Ashley's showing up. What's up, David? I'm going to love your comment. Hold on, I'm going to try. Bang, loved it. Sweet, dude. Well, it's good to see you guys. I'm really pumped to spend some time with you guys here today. I am going to jump straight in, and let me just move this. Okay, so you guys get to look at me a little bit today, which is going to be a lot of fun. We might show some screenshots, maybe not, but it's not going to be as screen heavy, which will be super cool. And also, today's going to be a little bit shorter because I got to run away. I just found out that in like 30 minutes, maybe a little longer than that, whatever, I'm driving out to San Diego. We're like 30 minutes north of San Diego right now. Driving to San Diego. We had a dude that we had on our other podcast, the more like generic one, named Ian, super good dude. He owns an app development company, and I don't even know, like in his first like year or two, like they're already past 7 figures. Super smart guy, and we happen in the same area, so I'm driving down to go hang out with him, go see his office, and grab some food and stuff like that. So that's what I'm going after this, but before that, I was like, Ashley, are we doing this call tonight? She's like, yeah, for sure. She's like, you sure you have time? I was like, of course we've got time. Let's do this. Like, you guys are the best people ever. So let's talk about some stuff. Today, I want to talk to you guys about affordably outsourcing funnel building tasks to the right experts, and then I'm going to throw a little twist on you. I'm going to bob and weave. I'm going to give you some jujitsu because that's actually not the right question to ask. I'm going to show you what's more important and why you're going to even outsource things. Okay, so let's just dive like basically straight into things. And I guess first and foremost, before I dive in, I just want to take 30 seconds, less than that probably, maybe 15 seconds, and let you know that Ashley and I very much appreciate you. We know that you are all very smart people. I know that for 2 reasons. One, you're chasing your dream. Number 2, you're doing it intelligently. You're doing it in a way where you are willing to go out there and build network marketing against the grain about what everyone else teaches. Everyone's like, go call your mom and dad, and if they don't get in, tell them they're dream stealers. Yeah. Shut up, dude. Like, for real? Like, I know you don't think, like, obviously, sometimes warm market stuff is really good, but if you're trying to build a giant business, you have to move beyond that, and that's what we're talking about here with using sales funnels for building your business. And as far as I know there's people out there that are highly respected, have extremely effective funnels for network marketing, but as far as I know, we're the only ones with a fully automated system that like takes it from ad to in our business and recruited in an automated way. So I want to share with you guys a lot of these things so that you can build this for yourself, or so you can be more effective on our team, or whatever you want to do. And the point is, we want to help you achieve the things that you want to achieve so that you can impact people. Period. Case closed. Cool? All right. Let's jump in. So, outsourcing certain tasks. I wrote automation. I meant to write outsourcing. So, when to outsource certain tasks. So, has anybody here had trouble building certain parts of your funnel? You can raise your hand. Raise your hand. Okay, sweet. So this is if you've had trouble building certain parts of your funnel. There's even a pretty strong tech guy that just got started on our team not too long ago, and he had trouble with something like setting up some of the email stuff in the funnel. And he told me about this, and he's like, I figured it out. It took me like 2 hours. And he's a tech guy, and he's like, I was just kind of surprised. I wouldn't expect him to get tripped up on anything technical. So if a tech guy gets randomly tripped up on building stuff in the funnel, like, you better believe that I do. Like, I'm Mr. Like, I don't know much tech stuff, right? And if you're coming from a background like me, where maybe you don't know much tech stuff, like, my guess is you probably get tripped up on some tech stuff, right? Or what about, like, when you're trying to, like, make it, like, an image for, like, your funnel, and you, like, want to make it nice and pretty? Like, crap! I don't know Photoshop. What if I just use Canva? You know, like, or crap, I don't know how to do this. What if I just pull a stock image? Or, like, I have to make a video. Should I do a bumper? Should I have this, like, really sweet intro? Like, Online marketers, XP. Or should I have some intro music? Hey, how'd you do that intro for your music for your podcast? Crap. Then you get stuck on things, right? You're like, what about a one-click upsell? What about if they don't buy? What happens then? Do they go to that email sequence or that one? You see what I'm saying? Like, there's all these things, right? And it's going to get a little bit overwhelming. Okay, I'm going to answer this question, and I'm going to tell you the right question to ask. The first part is actually outsourcing things in your funnel. The first thing is to know this. Almost everything in your funnel can be outsourced. If you need to hook up an email thing, like an SMTP, you can get it outsourced. If you need to have a Photoshop image made, you can be outsourced. We're making new logos right now for a new group that we're building, and I'm not building the logo, neither is Ashley. We're outsourcing it, okay? So here's what I would tell you to do. If you ever get stuck on something, that's the first thing I would do is I would reach out to the support ticket system of the software you're using. If you're using ClickFunnels, reach out to ClickFunnels support. If you're using Webinar Jam, reach out to their support. If you're using Builderall, reach out to their support. If you're using whatever, reach out to their support. See if you can get help. If it's way beyond you, this is what I would suggest you do. I have wasted so much time trying to figure stuff out that I have no business trying to figure out. Go on Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com, or Freelancer.com. And on both of those sites, you can get people to do almost any one particular task inside of a funnel. You can get them to do that task for between $5 and $15. No joke, I've had people hook up some crazy stuff for like 15 bucks. Now, if it's super complicated, you have to pay a little bit more than that. But in most cases, 5 to 15 bucks. All of our logos that you've ever seen, I have paid probably no more than $20 for those logos. All of them, right? Hooking up like crazy email, like SMTP things, hook to that thing, the whitelist your SMTP thing. What? I know what whitelisting means. $10, Fiverr, dude's done. So here's what you got to do. Anytime there is a task that pulls you away from your main thing, which I'm going to talk about in a moment, anything that pulls you away from your main thing, I would highly suggest outsourcing it. Even if you have low money, like very low money, check this out. Think about this for a second. Okay, you come to me, and let's not say me, that sounds kind of rude if it's me, but let's say you go get a job. Okay, you need to go get another job, and maybe it's your full-time job, and you go to get a job somewhere, and it's in your field of expertise. So let's say you're a programmer or something, right? You're a programmer, or let's say you're a counselor, and you go get a job, and you interview, and the guy gives you an offer letter, the girl gives you an offer letter, and you look at it. What's the number that you're happy with? Like, oh, okay, what's in your mind? What is your money, what is your number per hour? That if I said, I'll pay you $50 an hour, you're happy with it and you'll take it. Or I'll pay you $25 an hour, you're happy with it and you'll take it. Think of the number. What's the least amount of money I can pay you and you'll be happy? 50 bucks an hour? $70 an hour? What is it? Be honest, you don't have to write it, just answer for yourself. What is that number? Okay, let's say it's $25 an hour. If I offered you a job for 25 bucks an hour, you would take it. Okay, let's just pretend it's 25. If it's 50, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, just think about it. Okay, you got the number? Okay, cool. You are telling everyone in the world, or at least internally, you're telling yourself that your time is worth $25 an hour. Okay, nothing wrong with that, nothing good or bad about that. It just is a fact. It is what it is. Now, let's say you're trying to figure out this random SMTP integration deal, and you can't figure it out, and it's been 3 hours. It's been 3 hours, and you have no idea when you're going to figure it out. It could be 3 hours more. It could be 12. It could be 100 hours. You have no idea when it's going to happen. And you know that you can go on Fiverr.com and hire that same task out for 10 bucks. Is it a good financial trade for you to spend an additional hour trying to figure it out, or no? Well, if I spend $10, I can get all of my hours back. My time is worth $25 an hour. If I spend 10, I get an hour back. I just saved $15 in that hour, and I have an hour back. Does this make sense? So I do this calculation with every single task that's going through my head, and I focus on the things that I am most, I need to be there. Okay, so what's the things that you need to be there for? Because the whole point of this conversation I'm having with you is to encourage you to outsource. Outsource the stuff that is not your most leverageable item. A mentor and friend of mine, Perry Marshall, talks about how if you make $100,000 a year, you're probably spending a bunch of time doing $1 an hour tasks, probably a bunch of time doing $10 an hour tasks and a very small portion of time doing $1,000 an hour tasks. Your goal as an entrepreneur is to get everyone else to do the $10 an hour tasks and the $1 an hour tasks, and you focus on the $1,000 an hour tasks. Ashley sometimes tells our story, and she makes fun of me because when we first got married, I was already in the agency world. I was owning my own business. She was in the corporate world still, and she would be working, like, typing on the computer, and she would look over at me, and I would be laying on the floor for 2 hours, like this. It's like laying on the floor with my headphones on. And she'd be like, "What are you doing?" Like, inside her head, right? And she'd be like, "What are you doing? You're not doing anything." What I was doing is I was allowing other people to do the little $10 an hour task while I cleared my mind to do the $1,000 an hour task, right? So you want to focus there at the $1,000 an hour task. Make sense? I think I just saw the garage door open. Someone to come in a minute. That's okay. Does it make sense? Okay, so outsource everything except where you're most leverageable. Where is it? We've talked about this before. The 4 pieces to making a funnel that works. If one of these 4 is wrong, this thing's going to explode and it's not going to work. If these 4 are right, I would be really surprised if your funnel doesn't work and do exactly what you want it to do. The first one is having an offer. Okay, an offer that works. I would argue this is potentially the most important thing. If your offer is good, you can make up for a lot of mistakes in these other 3. So your offer, what are you offering? Why should I give you money? Right? Why should your prospects give you money? Offer is probably the most important thing. The next thing you have is your target. Who are you targeting for your offer? Right? Being very specific. That has to be really dialed in. The next thing is your strategy. How are you getting your offer out there? A webinar, a video sales letter, a written sales letter, etc. Right? That's a strategy. The last one is your messaging or your copy. We talk about copy, like copywriting, right? Your most leverageable space. Now, here's the thing. Your strategy, the strategies have mostly been figured out. You kind of know which funnels work. Webinars work good, video sales letters work good, and sales letters work probably, I would say, the best out of all of them, those 3. Your strategy is pretty easy to figure out. Your targeting, you could spend like 3 hours on targeting and never have to worry about it again. So those 2 are pretty easy. So it's really your offer and your messaging that we really have to worry about here. Your offer takes a lot of effort. You want to get a good offer. We talk about that next week. Your messaging is what we're going to talk about today. Because once you dial in your offer, you don't really have to worry about you don't have to really go back and think about it. You just have to worry about your messaging. This is the one that constantly gets tweaked and adjusted. Your most leverageable place in your business is in these 4 things. But as we talked about, you don't really need to worry about this one, and once your offer is in place, you don't need to worry about that one much. So the most leverageable ongoing place in your business most likely is in your messaging of your funnel. This also goes for offline too. If you're talking to people on a daily basis, trying to get them in even with like warm market strategies, which is, again, we're not against, but like if you're even doing that, what's the biggest thing you could change? It's what you're saying. It's what I have to offer and how I'm communicating it, right? So outsource all of that mumbo jumbo that doesn't have to do with those 4 things. Setting up the funnel, figuring out how this button connects to that thing. When does this email fire? You can get $5 an hour employees, $10 an hour employees to do that stuff for you. I'm not joking, right? You can get, if you say, hey, I want this to happen when they click that button. They can do all of that, and then you can focus on the important stuff. So today I want to talk to you about your messaging, okay? Getting your story out there, because a lot of people, we had this come up today, a lot of people don't actually know their story. And that's okay, because if you haven't done the copywriting thing before, if you haven't done the messaging thing before, if you've always relied on someone else to do the selling in your business, it can be kind of hard. And I don't blame you at all. Sometimes it's very hard to figure out how you tell your story in a way that is relatable, convincing, credible, all without being like cocky, right? Like if you have accomplishments, like that's one of the ways you get credibility from your listeners is to showcase your accomplishments. But if you do it in a way where you're like, puffing your chest or bloating your ego, nobody wants to listen to you. Nobody wants to listen to me if I do that. So that's something that's pretty hard. Another thing that's pretty hard is being vulnerable. Letting people know that, like, hey, I don't have this all figured out. I screw up, right? That was one of the hardest things for me. My first year or 2 of copywriting, I kind of skirted around my mistakes. I didn't really let my readers know, really Zach. I kind of let them believe something that was not really who I was. That's a hard thing to overcome. So the first thing you have to do is figure out who you are. What's the good and the bad about you, right? And even if you've never succeeded in this industry, that's okay. Just where are you, right? Maybe you're a successful professor or a teacher or a corporate person, and you've been in network marketing for a long time, but you've never succeeded. That's fine. That's your story. Just figure out where you're at. Okay? The first part of trying to get somewhere is what? Figure out where you are. Before you can type in your GPS where you want to go, it asks you where you're at, right? So that's what you have to do first, figure out where you're at. The next thing you have to do is figure out how to tell the story, okay? Now, this is kind of an interesting art all by itself. It took me years to master. Don't be like, oh my gosh, I don't have years to master this. It's okay, you can get results along the way, and it's an exponential increase. It's like better, right? So the first part of a story is figuring out where you're at. The next part is figuring out where you want to take your listener or your reader, right? This would be the offer. Where I want to take you is accepting my offer. That's where I want you to go. This is where I'm at now. So I'm here. I'm the successful professor, but I've never made it in network marketing, but I want to take you there to my offer, right? So now I can see where I'm going. So now I'm going to tell you a story, and I'm going to get you there. Okay, so what you want to do right now is go study copywriting. I think last week we even mentioned the book, The Ultimate Sales Letter. I want you to go read that book if you haven't got it yet. Go read The Ultimate Sales Letter and then read a book called Scientific Advertising. Read those two books and you'll get a really good understanding for how to craft a message. The next thing I want you to do is read a book called Expert Secrets. Expert Secrets is a book that talks about the Epiphany Bridge script, taking your backstory and then weaving it into the end thing. Okay, so the Epiphany Bridge script is by a guy named Russell Brunson. It's in that book called Expert Secrets. And I'm going to give you a rough outline of the Epiphany Bridge script right now. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is start with your backstory. I'm a successful professor. I've never made it in network marketing and whatever. That's my backstory. Now we're going to, in our backstory, talk about the desires that I had back then. Okay, what were my desires as a successful professor in network marketing? Now, if I'm a leader, meaning I have results, I can talk about who I was back then. If I'm not a leader yet, and I don't have results, and I'm talking about where I'm at right now, I'm going to speak from that perspective. Okay, so right now, as I write this to you, this is who I am. I'm a successful professor without results in network marketing. Here's what I desire. So you see what I mean? You just take it from past tense to present tense. Or yeah. Now you're going to talk about your desires, internal and external. Externally, I want to make $200,000 a year because I want to provide for my kids. When I provide for my kids internally, I will feel like a man. I'm getting my external desire and my internal desire. Now, of course, these are examples, and I'm not saying they're correct examples, but that's what you get it. So, backstory, desire, external, internal, right? I'll give you another example. I'm a student, right? I'm a college student. I've seen my friends my friends' parents become successful in the corporate world, and I don't want to do that. My external desire is to never have to get a job after college because internally I want to impact people positively because I know that jobs suck the life out of people, right? Okay, that's the backstory. The next thing we do is we start on our journey. So I'm starting on my journey now. Successful professor, and I want to make $200,000 a year. Now I'm on my journey now, trying to make my $200,000. On the journey, the first thing that happens is I probably hit some sort of resistance, right? So I got on the journey to make $200,000 a year. I got into network marketing. I thought I was going to hit it big, and 4 years later, I still didn't make $1. And now that's when people start to relate to you, okay? Then you take people into where you're actually going to start shifting them into your offer or your new opportunity, as Russell Brunson would call it. Your offer would be the epiphany. So I had a professor, successful, won $200,000 a year. I got into network marketing. I failed for 4 years. Oh, this sucks. What am I going to do? And then, holy crap, I found MLM Rebels, and bang, my mind got opened, and that was the epiphany. And then what I saw then is I saw a plan. I saw a way that I could unfold things in an online fashion. I could use real business principles to build my business. And oh my gosh, things totally changed for me, right? Or whatever. That's your epiphany. I saw something new and it changed everything. There's a lot of really good psychology in this new opportunity/epiphany thing. Here's the bottom line. If you're selling what's called an improvement offer, you're going to not do very good with your funnel. That's why most network marketers' funnels suck. because they're doing an improvement offer. Here's what it basically says. It says, hey, I can't even think of one right now. Like, let's say a funnel is, this is how you talk to people on the phone better in network marketing. That's an improvement offer, and what you're basically saying is, hey, Mr. Network Marketer, you suck on the phone, get my thing, and it'll help you be good on the phone. And what the network marketer has to do when they buy your thing is admit that they suck on the phone. That's not good. You don't want them to admit that they're doing something bad. You want to give them a new way to do something. Every big giant movement that you can look back on history and see when a movement was caused is because a new opportunity was created. Think about Christianity, for instance. Whether or not you're a Christian or not, it doesn't matter at all. Or think about Jesus, I should say. There was a way the world worked from a religious standpoint. Jesus came in and said, hey, all that stuff is gone. Null and void. Do this instead. It's a new opportunity. And he created one of the biggest movements in the history of mankind. Probably the biggest one, right? Think about what Russell Brunson did. Russell Brunson says, hey, instead of trying to use like traditional sales processes and websites to sell, all that stuff is crap. Use a sales funnel. Sales funnels already existed, but he packaged it in a way that it was new, a new opportunity. Hey, it's not your fault that you failed with selling online before because you're using a dumb website. A sales funnel is the way you do it. Hey, it's not your fault that you feel guilty and ashamed all the time. That's not what we're supposed to be doing. Follow me, says Jesus. Hey, it's not your fault that you failed in network marketing. Calling your friends and family day after day and cold contacting strangers doesn't actually work. Do it this way, says sales funnels for MLM, right? It's called a new opportunity. And we don't have time to get into everything else. So go look at the Epiphany Bridge script inside the Expert Secrets book with Russell Brunson. Sound good? All right, beautiful. What I want to sort of wrap up with a little bit, you guys, is focus on the messaging. The messaging is your most leverageable point of contact in your business. It's not how pretty your funnel looks. Again, I said this last week, I'll say it again. If you have 100% of time, 100% of units available to build your funnel, let's say you have 1 month to build a funnel. I would spend about 2 days building the funnel. I would spend the beginning time identifying my target. Who is my target? Who am I trying to sell to? And who am I? The next block of time, I would be crafting my offer, the perfect offer that I want to sell, right? What's going to blow everything else out of the water? What's going to create my new opportunity that I was just talking about? What is that? The next thing is going to create my messaging. How am I going to sell it inside of my strategy, right? That's like going to take me 25 days. The last 2 to 5 days, I'm going to build a funnel. So when people are asking us, should I outsource pieces of my funnel? Absolutely. Absolutely, you should outsource pieces of your funnel, right? Now, of course, if you want to build it and design it, that's totally cool. But all the technical mumbo-jumbo, dude, get rid of that stuff and focus on the leverageable parts of your business. Cool? All right. What I want to leave you guys with you is something that Ashley was talking about earlier today, which is taking action, right? There's 2 types of people out there. There's one type of person that is kind of like me, and there's another type of person that's kind of like someone else, right? Someone like me is like they get an idea and like, woo, let's go do it, right? Let's go do it, and then everything is just, who knows how that's gonna work? Let's just go. And then like, hey, can you fix all that? That's one side, and the other side of the coin is people that get paralysis by analysis. They're like, everything's got to be perfect. And when I build my funnel, if you click on this button and you go to this page, but not to this page, this email fires. And then if you click on this button and you go to this page, but not this page, or this page within 3 days, this email fires, and you get a Facebook message. And then it's like, bro, not one person has gone to your funnel yet. Don't worry about any of that crap, right? Manually do it if you have to, and if it works, then automate it. Right? So those are the 2 extremes. I would argue that the best place you want to be is like, if this is the paralysis by analysis extreme, and this is like kind of the joke I made about myself over here, that extreme, this is 10, this is negative 10, and 0 is in the middle, I would say you should probably be a positive 5. Okay? Somewhere over here, where you're taking messy action, right? You're not being so stupid, like the kind of joke I made about myself, where like you're like, literally just putting crap together and just like flailing around, right? You're not way over here, but you're definitely not over there, and you're not in the middle, because in the middle, that's usually dangerous. I want you taking action before you're totally right, before you're totally sure. Listen, nobody's perfect. I wish Steve was in here right now. We're at a friend of mine's house. He's actually a sponsor in our business. He's the only guy with a double portion of the Founders Club in our business, meaning he has ownership in 2 different markets in the company. The only guy in the entire company that's got it. And Steve has self-admittedly been like, dude, I do not know everything. I'm not perfect. But here's all I know what to do. I know how to take action consistently, take messy action. I know how to do the things I'm supposed to do, which is basically take action, right? And he's the only dude in the company with 2 founders' portions in the business. Probably the most prestigious guy in the entire company, right? That's who he is. And I would advise you to do the same. Take action and clean it up later. If you're trying to sell a product, don't spend 3 months building the course before anyone buys it. Spend 2 weeks building it, right? And then sell a Founders Edition. Hey guys, if you want to buy this now, I'll give you a discount. Full disclosure, it's not built all the way, but you can be a part of it as we're building it, and you can actually shape the way the course is made to suit your needs. What I want to do is give you early access to this course at a discount. And what you can do with that is you can verify that people actually will pay money for your thing before you spend 3 months building the thing. That's way, way, way different than the other way. We've got a residual client right now that we don't do client work anymore, but we got a residual client that's kind of still doing stuff, and they're launching a thing, and they spent how long to write that book? Months, like 5 months, like 6 months to write an ebook, and it's a really good ebook. Let's be honest, it's really, really good, and we love them dearly, but 6 months to write the ebook, and we haven't even sold a copy yet, and I'm like, well, let's sell the thing. Okay, let's sell it. And anyway, we'll go from there. So hopefully that makes sense. Take messy action. Now with this, guys, we're basically getting wrapped up. Obviously, this is quick and dirty. Actually, this wasn't quick. This wasn't dirty. This is just quick. But hopefully you found value in this. Hopefully you figured out that you need to spend time on the most leverageable activities. The building a funnel is sexy. It's fun. I like building a funnel more than almost anything. Okay, I really do. But I spend 3% of my time building them. The rest of my time goes into thinking about an offer and creating the messaging for it. That's what moves people. So I would hope that you would do the same thing. Okay. All the funnel training is really good, and I think you should get really, really deep into it. I think Russell and some of these other funnel guys are really, really smart, and you should follow them to the T. And if you even listen, the further you listen to them, the more you realize that they're actually telling you to find your voice, find your target, and find your message, and find your offer. And then they're saying, and then build the funnel. That's what they're saying. They're not saying spend all day building a funnel. They're saying sell some stuff, and the way that you sell stuff is focusing on those 4 things. Cool? All right, perfect. Well, guys, here's what I know about you. I know that if you're still here right now, I know that you are smart. I know you're extremely special because you're still here and you're wanting to move your life forward. I also know this, that if you're here, you probably could do a lot of other things and make money. You don't have to be in network marketing. Now, do I think network marketing is the most smart place to put your time for the least amount of risk? Obviously, I'm here. But you don't have to be here. I know you don't. I know you can put your time in something else and still impact your life financially. If you're trying to make $500 a month, I'm telling you what, you could go drive Uber and it's not as difficult. But if you want to make an actual impact on your life financially and make an impact on people, this is probably the best place to do it. But even so, I know that you don't have to be here. And here's why I want to say all that. I want to say all that because I recognize that, Ashley recognizes that, and we appreciate each and every one of you. Whether or not you're on our team or off our team, if you're on our team, fantastic. We appreciate you. We love having you part of the team, and we couldn't be more excited about it. If you're not on our team, if maybe you intend to join one day, or maybe you're building your own MLM, dude, that's totally cool. That's totally cool, and we're super excited to be able to pour into your life in some small way, and hopefully we can have a small hand in your success, because at the end of the day, we're after a few things. We're after setting people free on our team. That's number 1. Number 2, we're after setting people free off our team. That's the same point. Number 3 is we want to impact people's lives positively. And there is no clause in my contract that says they have to be in our company to impact their lives positively. So I don't care where you're at. We appreciate you. We love having you here. And I couldn't be more excited to spend some time with you. Typically, I'd share a pretty hilarious story with you guys right now, but we actually got to run. But I'll save it for next week. I promise this story is going to make you pee your pants. And you should be here next week. So next week, same exact time, we will be talking about, what did I say we're going to talk about? Making an offer. We're going to talk about making an offer, which is going to be super fun, and then I'm going to share with you guys a story that hopefully bring a diaper, or depending on your choice of preference, or sit in an outhouse. Either way, you'll pee your pants. Anyway, guys, hopefully you have an amazing day, and I love you very much. Talk to y'all soon. And now I'm going to shut everything down. This is kind of anticlimactic now. So we're going to stop streaming there. Bang.